Ok, quinta C, appello della quinta C, lezione di filosofia. Thank you very much, Margherita. There was a problem in the connection before, but now I hope it will be anymore. So, good morning Ilenia, good morning Elisa, Riccardo, Francesca, Stefano, Francesca the second, Aurora, good morning. Good morning ladies and gentlemen. Good morning Alessandra and also Mariana. Welcome to this English pyjama lesson of philosophy about Karl Popper. Good morning, Giorgio. Good morning, Alice. Good morning. Welcome to this English pyjama lesson of philosophy about the philosopher of science, Karl Popper. Good morning, Sylvia. Welcome. Welcome. Today is 28th of May. Good morning, Mateusz. Welcome. Good morning, Georgia. And we are 14. 15. Now we are 15. You are listening to Chopin. This music is a Polonaise, a Chopin's Polonaise. One of the Polonaises of Chopin. Polish musician of the 19th century. You are always 15. Today someone is justified absent for something I don't remember, but for something of a very serious one. Good morning, Miss Nunzia. Welcome. Good morning, Daniele, Mr. Daniele. So, we can begin with this pyjama lesson about the philosopher of science, Karl Popper. Karl Popper was one of the most influencing and the most important philosopher of science of the 20th century. Surely the most famous one, Karl Popper. He was born in Vienna, Austria, in 1902. His parents were Jewish, but converted to Lutheranism. And so he had a Lutheran baptism. After having followed many and different kinds of studies, he graduated in 1924 and became teacher of elementary school. And afterwards, in 1928, earned a doctorate in psychology. In 1934, fearing the Nazist Anschluss, do you know it? The Nazist Anschluss of Austria, Popper wrote his first work called The Logic of Scientific Discovery. The Logic of Scientific Discovery, with which he meant to get some academic position in a country that was safe for Jewish people. Finally, in 1937, he got a position as a lecturer in philosophy at a university in New Zealand, where he lived until 1946. After the end of the Second World War. When in 1946 he moved to England to teach logic and scientific method before at the London School of Economics, and then at the University of London. So, in this way, he got the British citizenship. He became a citizen of United Kingdom, of UK. So, then in 1959, Popper published a new edition of his first work, his main work, The Logic of Scientific Discovery. And in 1963, he published a new work, another important work, entitled Conjectures and Refutations. Refutation. I spell conjectures. 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 And refutation. Congetture. No, the Italian translation is congetture e confutazioni. Refutations. So, Popper died in England in 1994. In 1994, at the venerable age of 19 of 19 of 9 92 years. So now we talk about Popper's philosophy of science, Popper's epistemology. Popper claims that human knowledge arises from the crash between one of our expectations and an experience that clashes with it and so contradicts it. E.g. Exempli grazie. E.g. we are waiting for the ring of the bell. Do you remember when we were in our class and we could see each other's? So we are expecting that the bell rings at the end of the lesson. We aren't of the lesson, but the bell doesn't ring. Otherwise, we are in the middle of the lesson. We aren't expecting any sound, but suddenly the bell rings. In both these cases, we ask ourselves, why does the bell ring? Or why doesn't the bell ring? And so in this way, we get a problem and we try to solve it. According to Popper, knowledge derives from this try to solve our problem. This is the way in which the science begins. This is the birth of science. In more philosophical, epistemological terms, a scientific discovery is always an attempt that can succeed but fail as well. To solve a problem born from the scientific search. So, according to Popper, always, science is generated by problems, and a scientist is, first of all, a man who is able to point out problems and, to say so, to worry about things. You got it? All clear? Yes, no, yes. Right. Good. I go on. But But of course, science means trying to solve problems as well. Then, thank you very much, Francesca. Thank you very much, Aurora. So, science means to find problems, but means trying to solve problems as well. Then, how can you solve problems? Popper replies, holding that we have in our minds an innate knowledge, and so we can and have to use it. We can and have to use our innate knowledge. This innate knowledge consists of 1. Our genetic heritage, i.e., mental predispositions and aptitudes due to the evolution of human species. This first one. The second kind of innate knowledge, our cultural heritage, composed by religious, artistic, philosophical, literary, etc., ideas. So, the first innate knowledge is our genetic heritage. The second innate knowledge is cultural heritage. So, from this innate knowledge, we can draw two resources for the scientific research. For the scientific research. The first resource is some selective standards to orient our observations and so to gain significant cognitive experiences. Then we can get another resource. The second one is the matter, from which we can find out inspiration in order to elaborate conjectures to get the solutions of scientific problems. So, I repeat these two resources. We can draw from our innate knowledge. The first one, some selective standards to orient our observation and so to gain significant cognitive experiences. The second one, the matter from which we can find our inspiration in order to elaborate conjectures to get the solutions of scientific problems. Okay, Miss Alice, sorry, could you repeat this last part? So for the third, okay, from we have an innate knowledge. From this innate knowledge, we can draw two resources for the scientific research. Which are these resources? Some selective standards to orient our observations and so to gain significant cognitive experiences. The second one, the matter from which we can find out inspiration in order to elaborate conjectures to get the solutions of scientific problems. So, using these resources, scientists can produce a scientific theory that is a set, that is, what is a scientific theory according to Popper? It is a set of universal statements about nature. A set of universal statements about nature. In Popper's view, scientific theories are only a development of our innate aptitudes to stress similarities, and to pinpoint the regularities of our experiences. I repeat. In Popper's view, scientific theories are only a development of our innate aptitudes to stress similarities and to pinpoint the regularities of our experiences. Well, but Popper argues that there is a decisive difference between a scientific theory and every other kind of theory. That is, the possibility to criticize, the possibility to criticize and refute a theory on the basis of experience, more specifically by means of an experimental test. So, I repeat, but Popper argues that there is a decisive difference between a scientific theory and every other kind of theory, a philosophical theory, a religious theory, etc., etc. Which is this difference? It is the possibility to criticize and refute a theory on the basis of our experience, more specifically by means of an experimental test. For this, Popper calls the scientific procedure, the scientific process, opened inverted commas, trial and error, method, close the inverted commas, trial and error method. Popper calls the scientific procedure trial and error method. Meaning, what does it mean? It means that the experimental control can also reject a theoretical hypothesis. This is very important. An experimental control, an experimental test can confirm but also reject a theoretical hypothesis. So, Good morning from Orlando. Welcome. We are very happy of this intercontinental communication. Very good. So we can go. But what does the trial and error method consist of? How is it possible to compare the universal with the singular? No, this is a strong problem. Thank you. Okay, you are welcome. Now, how is it possible to compare the universal with the singular? Why? A theory is universal. An experimental test is singular. This is a big difference. So, in other words, since a theory is universal and instead an experiment is singular, which is the way to get an experimental control of a scientific theory, which is the way to accord the universal with the singular. Good. Popper replies to all these questions that the scientific research is a process based on 3 steps. A process based on 3 steps. On 3 free, also free, 3 free steps. The first one, the first step is scientists must use freedom. Scientists must use freely all their creativity based on their innate knowledge in order to devise a new theory. Okay? So I repeat, firstly, scientists must use freely all their creativity based on their innate knowledge to devise a new theory. Secondly, they have to deduct almost one singular consequence, namely a prediction. The good term is prediction. The good scientific word is prediction from the theory invented. So I repeat. Secondly, scientists have to deduct almost one singular consequence, namely a prediction from the theory invented. Good. Thirdly, scientists can and have to compare the singular prediction deducted by the theory with a singular experimental result better, as Popper exactly says, with a open inverted commas, open and inverted comma, basic statement, closed, basic statement. That is the logical and linguistic translation of a singular experimental fact. So I repeat this third step of the scientific process. Scientists have to compare the singular prediction deducted by their theory with a singular experimental result, better, as Popper exactly says, with a basic statement that is the logical and linguistic translation of a singular experimental fact. So, clear? You got it? Answer to me, yes, no. So we can do a pause. Yes, thank you very much, Miss Francesca. Others, thank you very much, Mr. I apologize, Miss Aurora, not Mr. Miss. Good. Just a pause, just stretching a bit of. It's all clear. Thank you very much, Miss Alice. Thank you. So we can go on. According to Popper, the most big bird, big man, the most, thank you, Mauro, the most emblematic example of the trial and error method is Einstein's theory of relativity. Why? Einstein theory of relativity. No, so we have this link, this connection. So why? Because according to Popper, Einstein elaborated his theory only by means of his thought, i.e., on the basis of his free mental reasoning, without any antecedent experimental confirmation or support. I repeat, Einstein elaborated his theory only by means of his thought, i.e., on the basis of his free mental reasoning, without any antecedent experimental confirmation or support. Good morning, Ulisse, good morning, Lorenzo. B. Einstein himself pointed out some consequences of his theory as the prediction of the deflection of stars' rays passing near the sun, due the deflection due to the gravitational field of the sun. I repeat this second point, this second step of Einstein's scientific process. Einstein himself pointed out some consequences of his theory as the prediction of the deflection of stars' rays passing near the sun due to its gravitational field. Okay. C. Third step. In this way, the English scientist Eddington, Eddington, could manage the famous experiment which attested the basic statement, opened inverted comma, a stellar ray passing near the sun is bent, is closed, closed inverted comma. A stellar ray passing near the sun is bent. I repeat this third step. In this way, on the basis of Einstein indication, on the basis of Einstein singular prediction, the English scientist Eddington could manage the famous experiment which attested the basic statement, a stellar ray passing near the sun is bent. This basic statement matched with the prediction of the theory of relativity, and therefore Einstein's theory was corroborated by Eddington's experiment. So, this basic statement matched with the prediction of the theory of relativity, and therefore Einstein's theory was corroborated, sustained, reinforced by Eddington's experiment. But that experiment, but pay very attention. But Popper states this corroboration, this confirmation doesn't mean that the theory of relativity, that Einstein's theory of relativity is really true, is true, since even a great deal of confirming experimental results aren't enough to assure that a theory is true. This is a very important point. I repeat. Popper states that the corroboration that Einstein's theory of relativity had by the experimental test of Eddington doesn't mean that the theory of relativity is true, since even a great deal of confirming experimental results aren't enough to assure that the theory is true. Why? This is because a theory, being universal, refers to every event of some kind, relating a physical field. And therefore, we can never exclude that there might be some contradictory event we cannot test. I repeat. No experimental test can demonstrate the truth of a scientific theory, because a theory is universal. This means that it refers to all event of some kind. for example, to all the physical events, the astronomical physical event. And therefore, we can never exclude that there might be some contradictory event we cannot test. Good? Now an example. Now a beautiful example that is a beautiful story by the English philosopher Bertrand Russell. Well, in order to make this concept more understandable, Popper mentions Russell's 2S and 2L, Russell's inductivist Turkey story. So, this is the story. Russell's inductivist Turkey. There is an inductivist Turkey story. This is the story. Once upon a time, there was in a farm a turkey which found that on his first morning, on the first morning he was in that farm, he was fed at 9 a.m. He was fed at 9 a.m. Being a good inductivist turkey, what a good inductivist turkey, he did not jump immediately. He was a good inductivist turkey, and so he did not jump immediately to conclusions. He waited until he collected a large number of observations that he was fed at 9 a.m. And also, he made this observation under a wide range of circumstances. A wide range of circumstances. On Wednesday, on Thursday, on cold days, on warm days, on rainy days, and also on sunny days, etc., etc. Each day, he added another observation statement to his long list. Each day, he added another observation statement to his long list. Finally, he was satisfied that he had collected a sufficient number of observation statements in order to inductively infer that between inverted commas, I am always fed at 9 a.m. This basic statement, our inductivist Turkey finally arrived to establish this basic statement. I am always fed at 9 a.m. So, however, on the morning of Christmas Eve, he was not fed, but instead he was killed. An happy end. The moral of the story is, which is the moral of this sad story? Inductivism is dangerous, very dangerous. Not only for Turkish, but also for scientists and also for all human beings. So, this is the moral of the inductivist Turkey story is also called currently black swan. Black swan. It is always possible a black swan. An event that is different from our prevision, from the laws of nature, of the science, established by science and by scientists. So this is all today, and it is a 11:15. We can finish 5 minutes before. So if and only if you haven't some question about what I have explained for you. Some question? Have you some question? No question? Did you like the inductivist Turkey story? Are you now have to ask yourself, am I, it's possible that I am an inductivist Turkey? Okay. I don't see any question. Bene, well, goodbye allora, goodbye. Ma are you there? Is there someone there behind this video? Is there someone of you? I don't think so. I am alone. I am alone here to speak with myself, only with myself. Oh, Aurora, Miss Aurora, thank you very much. I'm not alone. We are two. We are two. Almost. No, at least you are alive. Good, Mr. Ricardo, thank you very much. Have a good break. You are not alone. Thank you, Miss Rossella. Thank you very much. But now we have to finish this pyjama lesson. I thank you. Have a good break. Have a good then a good morning. Bye bye.